How y'all doing out there tonight? Probably better than me, I'm sure, considering I'm on this show. My name is Derek Holmes. And not too long ago, some old greedy cops got their hands on my Pimp Chronicles. Yeah, that's right, I wrote it all down. Now tonight, you're gonna hear some girls say some pretty nasty things about me. But I decided to tell y'all my side of the story in my own words. Now, if you wanna run a business, you gotta let everybody know who's in charge. You gotta put everything down in black and white. It's the only way to keep the green coming. Oh, you wanna know some of the demands I got from my hoes, huh? When daddy say jump, I say hi. My money belongs to daddy. I charm any bitch to be on daddy's team. Back talking is like spitting in daddy's face. Yeah. See, you gotta have hoes to go out there and get you more hoes. The more hoes you got, the more money you make. That's just simple economics 101 right there. Look, let's take this old Lisa of yours and just pull my caddy right over here.
I'll call you back.
Sweetheart, what a beautiful woman like you doing out here crying and got your bags all packed and stuff.
And that's when Derek Holmes and I met. He came by the payphone, real nice, sweet. He hits her, kick her, throws her, and I'm like, shocked.
You gotta make sure Strawberry come back with at least $300 tonight. You hear me? Don't play with my money, girl. Get out there and get that money. Get out there and get that damn money.
I didn't like being there no more, so I wanted to leave.
It took her a few months to realize that. I mean, that's about average, I guess. I mean, it happens all the time. But the only difference is, I'm the one that put expiration dates on my hoes.
You gotta get me out of here. Or we can tell Mom is in the hospital or something.
I called my brother, told my brother, look, act like something happened so I can get out of here.
Girl, your time is my time, and I ain't got time for your damn mama. You hear me?
Please, I need to see my mom.
Let me tell you one thing.
Bitch, I'm tired of that. Don't ever ask me for no money. What's wrong with you? Huh? Your mama? Let me, you see this girl? I put enough voltage to your neck and your heart stop. You hear me? Like your damn mama. Better get out there and get my money, girl.
So at this point, like I said, I'm terrified. Basically, I'm trapped. The guys come in there and have sex with me. I haven't changed clothes in 8 days. I wasn't able to eat. And he brought me a juice. I drank it. Come to find out, he drugged me.
She knew how to roll with a player. Now, Amy, I don't know. I think that one right there was just looking for the right time to break on me.
I couldn't get out the window because the windows did not open. Couldn't walk out the door because someone slept in front of the door. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have nothing. So there was no way of getting out anywhere.
Go and get that little model show.
My last days in that room.
Look, see, there she go. I told you, Derek.
Come on, man, let's do this.
You gotta come get me now. On the west side of town, the one off Fulton Industrial, okay?
Amy, what did you do with my lotion? Didn't I tell you to put my lotion back where you... What you doing? What are you doing?
You can come with me.
You trying to leave?
When are you gonna get out of here, girl?
Don't worry about me, okay? You just go. Don't worry about yourself. I'll be all right. Bye. I'll be all right. Get out of here.
He was like, I'm coming to pick you up right now. Dash out the room and run downstairs.
Where Amy?
I don't know.
What you mean you don't know? What she say to you?
I don't know. I was in the bathroom and I came out and she was gone.
You stupid hoe, man. Now both of y'all would have to work just that much harder now. Mostly you, girl. Damn! Come on, man.
One hoe get away, that gives the other ones bright ideas. And I can never let that happen.
I'm away from him for like a month. He's never left me alone, because I'm still scared he'll come back.
Sada, you sure her mama live here?
No, I am sure. I followed her here the other day.
They always go back home to their mama.
Not sure what happened to Amy, but when Lisa split on me, man, I had to let her know. And the rest of my girls, too, man, you just can't roll out on me like that.
Look, see, there she go. I told you, Derek.
Come on, man, let's do this.
There's consequences in this game.
She was a friend, regardless of anything.
No, that's my baby. Wait, no! I am going to see my baby. Yes.
She was such a sweet person. She was so sweet. And I just cried. There wasn't nothing else I could do but just sit there and cry. I just cried. My only girl. Some senseless mess. But he did it.
She needs justice, and I think I need it too. It's not in any other female that has dealt with him. We all need justice for ourselves. He'll just get in your head, he'll say you're beautiful, he'll compliment you, and then he'll keep on at you, and he'll just say things that he thinks a woman likes to hear. Especially the ones that he knows that are vulnerable. The real Derek is evil.
Or so she says. Oh, what you think you think I'm sorry about what they said I did? I mean, hell nah. It's all a part of the game. It's just like I wrote down. The game loves no one. It's all about you. You make your own rules.
Boy, this guy acting so tough, he's nothing but a coward. I mean, he must have hated his mother. He's an exploiter of women and horrible, horrible guy. Let me get first to Amy in the piece, the woman we're calling Amy. Still in hiding?
Yes, she's still in hiding. That's why she was in Silhouette. And she's scared every single day because she's not sure if she's going to see Derek again.
Okay, what about Emma, the lady that drove the car? She's charged with murder because she brought those low-life creeps there to kill this woman.
That's right. So she's charged with murder along with Derek Holmes. And what happened was she was arrested a few days after the murder. And then she was out on bond a few months after that and cut off her ankle bracelet.
Where do you think he is?
Derek could be anywhere. He's got ties to Louisiana. He's fond of Las Vegas. He's fond of Miami. But anywhere that he could restart his organization.
So he's floating around in the life. And Mark, he shouldn't be that hard to catch because they don't ever get out of the life, do they?
No, once a pimp, always a pimp. And he just bragged about his lifestyle and what he wants to do with women and make money. We're going to look at the circuits being Miami, Atlanta, Las Vegas, maybe even expand it to some of the areas that have high prostitution problems. So we want the uniform officers, the beat officers, to take a good look at who's working these areas. Try to provide us with some information that's going to put us in a direction to locate this guy.
Tell us about this creep. Give our viewers some tips.
He's about 6'1". His average weight is 180, but he will use weight powder to bulk up. As far as his clothing, one of his interesting things that I found out from talking to people who knew him is that around the house, he will wear socks inside of flip-flops. And occasionally, he will wear that actually out on the street. socks and flip-flops and basketball shorts.
What about the shooter?
The accomplice we have not positively identified yet.
You know, all this bragging, I read all this crap that he writes, the rules of a pimp and that he's the quarterback of pimps. He's nothing but a coward and exploiter of women. You know, he just beats up, uses women, and now he's wanted for murdering a woman who tried to get away from him. Well, I hope the world's a much smaller place for this creep tonight, and I hope that this woman, Emma, figures it out. She better come forward, and we actually could save her life.
That's
or you
correct.
could if she turned herself in.
That's right.
She was killed somewhere else, driven to the cemetery, and dumped like a dead dog.
It was a very horrible crime scene.
Of a murdered child. So my heart goes out to Debbie. How is she doing?
She's doing real well, as best as you can expect. She's been real patient with me and the justice system to bring this idiot to justice.
Now, you've gotten some good tips since we aired that.
Absolutely, and we received 15 to 20 tips when it first aired. One of the tips indicated he was still in Mexico.
And you had to do some things to try to get him back out of Mexico, and the DA has helped you, hasn't he?
Mexico won't extradite anybody that's not been charged with murder, so the state attorney's office reviewed the case. I did a couple of things that they needed done, and we were able to have a murder warrant issued.
Well, you're getting close. You think you know where he is. You got the murder warrant. Mexican police, I know, are going to help you get this guy back across the border. John, his girlfriend was pregnant at the time, so she's had a baby.
Yeah, she had a baby, and the hope was that Debbie was hoping, the whole family was, that he'd come back to visit. You know, it's somewhere around Christmas time when the baby was born. He never shows up. Mike was waiting for him, but he didn't have the guts to come back, face the music, or to see his kid. What kind of a guy is he? You call him a monster, you know.
Did he have a rap sheet before this?
Nothing, minor stuff. It was car, you know, citations, things like that. So it doesn't make sense that he would run like this.
Raised in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you. He tells his girlfriend he's going to go out and get some food, disappears for a couple hours, meets a woman in a bar and takes her down a dark, secluded street and tries to hurt her, winds up killing her. Is this guy a serial rapist? Is he a future Ted Bundy, a menace to society?
His actions after he committed this makes you lean that direction just because he didn't come back to see his newborn child. We haven't had any reports of other attacks of this nature by him, but then again, who knows?
But they say he's already crossed the line, so he could be right there to do it again. Well, Mike, I know the noose is getting tighter on this guy, and we got lots of friends and fans in Mexico. I'm sure the Mexican police will do the right thing, bring this guy back to the border, and you'll get some closure for this wonderful family.
The way she was tied and gagged and the other things at the crime scene reveals that this murderer is a real pro. It's terrible to think what she went through. It was a hot fall day, Indian summer, when I got a call to respond to a cemetery. A body was found outside the gate of this cemetery in Baltimore County. She was gagged and murdered. It was September 12th, 1976. A woman and her 3-year-old son, on their way to church, saw a van parked near the cemetery at 9:20 in the morning. A man found her body around 10:20 and called the police.
Detective Rick Heaps had this case for 12 years until I took it over. It's a cold case. It's cold as ice. I am Detective Phil Morrow, and this case now belongs to me. Here's what we think probably happened. We believe she may have been hung up and raped in a van with a blunt object. There was a severe loss of blood, and her body was then redressed by the killer.
She was killed somewhere else, driven to this cemetery, and dumped like a dead dog. We found the body tied, gagged, with a sheet over the head.
It was a very horrible crime scene. That's when we named her Woodlawn Jane Doe. Her hands were tied in perfect knots.
When we removed the sheet from her face, we found a series of bandanas which had been wrapped and tied around her head.
One was a plain blue bandana. The second was orange and had eye holes cut out like it was a mask. Both were paisley pattern.
The way she was tied and gagged and the other things at the crime scene reveals that this murderer is a real pro.
Several personal items were found on her that could help defrost this case. There were 2 house keys found in her pocket. They were on a safety pin. One was from Fitchburg, Massachusetts. The other could have come from anywhere.
The victim was wearing a rawhide necklace with a round blue-painted stone.
It's terrible to think what she went through. Look at her. She has the face of an angel.
This girl was broken and beaten. It's time to put her to rest. This case is really old. We're definitely going to need the help of a higher power. Let's hope the angels are watching over us.
Well, as you both said it, this is not just a cold case, it's a very old case, 76.
We started in 76, and actually, I followed it through till I retired in 88.
It obviously made a big impression on you, and you wanted to see this case solved.
It's just hard to believe that nobody's come forth. She has to have a mother, brothers, sisters, friends, family, someone. We just can't believe we haven't been able to identify her
Somebody
yet.
looking for her, and it's a brutal, brutal murder. Any good tips back in the day?
I think one of the best ones we had, one of the items she was wrapped with was a lawn seed bag where it was from Massachusetts, and it was only distributed in Massachusetts.
Phil, you took the case over, and you've been working the case for lots of years.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
It begs the question, you talk about DNA, modern DNA wasn't available back in the day. DNA of the woman, DNA of the perp.
We have DNA from her that we submitted to the University of North Texas, which has a nationwide database and is compared to family members who submit their DNA, family members of people who have lost their sons and daughters and have no idea where
Loved
they are.
ones missing, they got to know, they got to send in that familial DNA to get a match. That's one thing. What about the murderer?
And then in 2006, we submitted her clothing for DNA purposes, and we recovered an unknown male profile. That DNA profile was submitted through CODIS, and as of this date, we have not received any hits on that.
So that means that this guy may have never been arrested. This guy may have dodged a bullet since that murder.
That's
never
correct.
been arrested. Identifying marks. Tony, you know a lot about this case. Anything else that we left out?
She had some tattoos, various combinations, and what were they? What were the letters again?
They appear to be JP, SP, 2 letters in that sequence. They're very light, but they're on the right shoulder.
Could be her initials or somebody that she loved or a former boyfriend, etc. Tony, give me your gut feeling.
Well, you know, I've worked on hundreds of cases, and many of them serial killer cases. And what catches my attention is the methodology of this. The meticulous knots on the hands, the mask on their face, the bandanas, the seed sack, where the body was placed is off 695 in Baltimore. It connects I-95. So there's a possibility that this could be a long-distance trucker. We've seen that happen before in serial killers. So I think that what we need to do is reach out to cops who are watching tonight and police agencies.
All over the country.
All over the country, saying in 1976, was there a similar crime?
Or you've had one since with the same MO.
Exactly. Let's put some notes together, call our hotline tonight, and maybe they can talk to our detectives and compare notes.
Think this case is solvable?
I do. Especially with the DNA that we recovered in 2006, I really do think it's solvable.
We're hoping tonight we're going to get that break. I think somebody will come up with something that might give her an identity and maybe catch a serial killer.
He actually leaves his pants and shoes there and flees with just his underwear running through the streets of Center City.
Your tips have been keeping cops busy on lots of our cases, and there's great news tonight about a real lowlife we've been hunting for a while. John Snyder. Snyder's been at the top of my list for a long time. He's the worst of the worst, a violent convicted rapist wanted for failing to register as a sex offender. And if that isn't bad enough, he's been hiding behind this hate symbol as a member of a neo-Nazi group. We've profiled Snyder several times, and your tips have always pointed toward Missouri. Now, the last time we aired this story, we got a tip that Snyder was going to a big neo-Nazi rally in St. Louis. On September 16th, officers in Boone County, Missouri, proved that you were right. Police were called to this house to investigate a domestic disturbance. They interviewed a witness who told them his name was John Clark, but something about him didn't seem to add up. A tip and some good police work revealed the truth about him. He was the neo-Nazi fugitive we've been hunting.
The officers went back up to the home. He continued to deny that he was John Snyder, but I think after a few minutes he realized that that was fruitless, and he basically said, okay, you got me.
Now that Snyder's back in custody, he faces at least 10 years in prison. And we can all sleep soundly knowing one more dangerous predator is off the street.
Did you see him?
Tonight, I hope you can make the same thing happen with another accused predator.
On where?
The case began on August 29th when witnesses heard screams for help from an unlikely place, right across from Philadelphia Police Headquarters.
Philadelphia Police, may I help you?
Yeah, they're behind the Broad Street on 8th and Race. There's a guy holding the girl by her neck and she's screaming.
And where is this at?
Right with Chinatown where you catch the Broad Street line. I don't even know if anybody get over here in enough time, but they went behind the building. She's fighting them off.
Cops got there quickly and interrupted a rape in progress. They found a 22-year-old woman battered and bleeding, but that's not all they found.
He actually leaves his pants and shoes there and flees with just his underwear running through the streets of Center City.
Lieutenant Tom McDevitt's team quickly uncovered this videotape showing the half-naked suspect fleeing the scene. Now their job was to figure out who this man was. That seemed like an easy task because this ID was inside the suspect's pants. But it turned out to be a fake. Fingerprints lifted from the ID also proved useless. But then Lieutenant McDevitt discovered that something else he'd found at the crime scene might be the break he was looking for, a digital camera. At first, he thought it belonged to his victim.
After we let her look at the camera and she said it's not her camera, then went and got a search warrant and looked at the camera. When we opened the camera, we realized it's his camera, the defendant's camera.
Could the suspect's own photos help identify him? When Lieutenant McDevitt looked through the photos on the camera, he found some he thought might be the suspect. And he saw several photos of a neighborhood in Philadelphia, a city this veteran cop knows like the back of his hand.
Luckily for us, I grew up in South Philadelphia. I saw a park that he was sitting in and recognized that to be South Philadelphia. We had a picture of the front of a house. We then went systematically street through street of South Philadelphia until we located the street that he lived on and located the house.
Finding the house gave him his suspect's name, Alberto Isaac Suarez. But Suarez had hopped on a bus and fled to Texas. When we put his face on AMW, you gave Lieutenant McDevitt some good new leads. But tonight, he's still looking for that one great tip that'll put this accused predator behind bars.
To the vehicle, but Suarez had already figured out that the cops were on his tail, and he bailed out of the vehicle.
FBI on his tail, that close.
Very close. And
That
they
close.
worked into the wee hours of the morning looking for this man.
And he skated. Do you think he made it across the border?
At this time, I think he's still in Dallas. I think he needs money. He didn't have any money prior to going down there, and he needs it before he goes over the border. So he's going to be in that area for a while before he tries to cross.
Friends and contacts there?
He's still reaching out to people, so he's going to be around.
John, you know a lot about this guy. Tell us about him.
All of his friends know him as Isaac, John, not as Alberto. Everybody knows him as Isaac. We know he's a big drinker. Tequila is his drink of choice. We know that he frequents prostitutes. And John, what gets me about this case is, talk about a crime of opportunity. This guy has the argument, as the lieutenant says, and goes to the bus station because he wants to get out of town, but the bus isn't leaving for an hour. In that hour, he finds this victim and almost kills her. In that hour.
Plans and says, I'm going to commit a crime before I head for Mexico and get on the bus.
It's sickening.
Must mean a lot to the victim that we catch this guy.
She's never going to be able to arrest until he's in custody. And that's what we need to do.
Well, we got lots of friends and fans in Mexico and Spanish-speaking operators. I hope this guy goes down tonight.
So do I.
The no-pants rapist. A guy buys a bus ticket to Mexico, has to wait for an hour, decides he's going to rape somebody, and almost chokes her to death. I know you almost got him in Texas. We're going to get him tonight, no matter where he is. And this guy, Derek Holmes, this coward pimp has to get another big guy and go murder an innocent woman who's trying to get out of the life. And the lady that drove him there, Emma Grant, I hope she comes forward tonight because she's an accessory to murder, but she may be his next victim. Please give my best to Debbie, Tia's mother. I've walked in her shoes. I'm the parent of a murdered child. I know you're going to catch this guy if he's in Mexico. I believe they're going to send him back, and he's going to face justice. You two guys, old cold case, Tony, 1976. You never gave up. You retired. Your partner here is keeping it going. First, we got to find out who she is. The not knowing is killing this family, and they need to bring this girl home so that they can respect her. We need to catch this guy. Could be a serial killer. Now, we got a lot to do. Let's get busy.